Hi guys, welcome to Adventure Thrills and Life. My name's Jamie. So in a new segment, Herschend Family Entertainment, Episode 1, Made for the Expansion. So as many of y'all already know, Herschend Entertainment announced about March that they would be purchasing Palace Entertainment uh, from a European company. A major European theme park company owns Palace Entertainment. They want to focus on their European theme parks, so they're wanting to sell Palace off, which they did to Herschend. Herschend just this month in May of 2025 announced that they was raising $1.1 billion worth of funding to acquire Palace. Well, we're assuming it's to acquire Palace. Uh, I'm assuming the transaction is probably around the 800 to $1 billion mark, and they're just trying to get a little bit extra money on that 1.1 billion to do some park upgrades to these parks. Most of these parks, from my research, have not been touched. They've just been given an upkeep budget and not many new things. Notably about Palace Entertainment, it seemed like probably all the way up until, from what my research shows, somewhere between 2018 and 2022. That's when the new stuff stopped for all these parks that you can see: Adventureland, Castlepark, Dutch Wonderland, and the rest that you see on the screen. Uh, Two of the big parks that I know of, Kennywood, located in Pittsburgh, that is a humongous park that has a lot of history. Lake and Pounce, a lot of history. Storyland, I've heard great things about Storyland actually from another theme park enthusiast like myself up there in New Hampshire. So this should be incredible, and let's get this video started. So Herschend Entertainment, most notably known with their partnership with Dolly Parton and Dollywood up in Tennessee, well, over in Tennessee, uh, has Dollywood. They also own Wildadventures in Valdosta, Georgia, which typically, since it's their smallest park, gets a minimum budget. That's where we're going to focus here. Is I'd like to tone in on Wildadventures and their budget compared to Silverdollarcity, which is their number one theme park in the chain, tied with Dollywood. Those two are the flagship theme parks of Herschend Entertainment and will always stay that way, is what it seems to be. Uh, Kentucky Kingdom, they fully acquired Kentucky Kingdom approximately 2 to 3 years ago. I believe it was 2021, 2022. I believe it was 2022. Might have been 2021, so that would have been 4 years ago that they finished acquiring Kentucky Kingdom. Uh, Nice park. They're starting to throw money at Kentucky Kingdom now. They, from what I've seen and understand, they've opened up a lot of land in Kentucky Kingdom at the front of that park, with some brand new ideas and theming. So, what Kentucky Kingdom has going for it, and this is another thing that we'll look at too, is Kentucky Kingdom had a brand new area, and just like Silverdollarcity has their own theme going, Kentucky Kingdom has Discovery Meadow. Discovery Meadow, an original theming, it seems like, from Herschend Entertainment. They're really good with original theming. They're not using IP uh, that they have to pay for. They just go and get their own. Now that is a little bit of contradicting with what Palace Entertainment has, so it's going to be kind of interesting to see where they go with that. I know Palace Entertainment currently has partnerships with Fred Rogers Productions, the producer Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood, and some other PBS Kids shows. That is a brand new multi-licensing deal that Palace Entertainment has signed back in 2024. It seems like that deal covered Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood, Alma's Way, Donkey Hood, and Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. to 6 of the Palace Entertainment parks across the United States. So that's going to be very key to see how long that partnership lasts, to see if even when that initial contract runs out, if Herschend is going to keep that going, or if they will replace it with original themed IP. I know in Storyland they also have Cinderella, so that one's going to be interesting too on what they do from there. I also know that Palace Entertainment uses Duke the Dragon. I think that may have been off of a cartoon show. Also, I'm not 100% sure on that. So when looking at Kentucky Kingdom and the big expansion that was just given to them now from Herschend, it gives you hope that on it, we'll just jump into it and take a look at it. Actually, Discovery Meadow is what Herschend just did at Kentucky Kingdom, where they reimagined a lot of rides. They $11 million worth of funding going toward this. 3 brand new rides. Happy Hallow is a new kids playground. Scout, the Squirrel meet and greet. Robin Bloom meet and greet. So some original stuff right there. They did upgraded food venues. And Discovery Meadow just fits the area. It clicks with that park. Redbird Racer, Scout Squirrel Race, Cumberland Express, the 3 new rides, plus to go with a bunch of reimagined rides that was already there that just got a lot of money in refurbishment, paint job, all that to go into it. So Herschend is for real, and Herschend wants these parks to be successful. Herschend has this understanding, it seems like, the more money, even small, decent sized investments, will get more people coming to the park. Now, like I had mentioned earlier, Herschend did move some rides around in Kentucky Kingdom and pretty much freed up 3-4 spots at the front of the park where they could put a Wild Mouse roller coaster, some more flat rides. They could probably squeeze more flat rides than they had in that specific area, because they opened up probably a good 2.5 to 4 acres worth of land to where they could do something on. Whether that's going to be a coaster of some sort, like a small mini coaster, Wild Mouse coaster that wouldn't take up as much room, or just a brand new section of flat rides. That's what I would bet on, is lower cost money. It's going to bring people in. You can get some wows and flat rides into Kentucky Kingdom and also theme it to its own area, just like they just did Discovery Meadow. So how does this matter to Palace Entertainment and that purchase by Herschend? Well, when we go look at the parks that are being acquired by Herschend, Adventureland, Castlepark, Dutch Wonderland, Ideal, Wild, Soak and Zoak Zone, Kennywood, Lake Palace, and Storyland, from everything that I've seen, the biggest thing that these parks have gotten an investment is some type of water play area. Water area for family. And it's not all out water park. If the park didn't already have an all out water park for, say, Storyland, if Storyland did not have an all out water park, then it just got some water play area. Let me actually pull that up and show you guys. So here we go. 2024 is when it came in. It's called Moo Lagoon. Opened Memorial Day to September the 14th of 24. I'm assuming that's going to be kind of same time frame that it runs from this year, 2025. Immerse yourself in a farm-themed water play area with over 50 attractions and features. It's got some water slides. It's got a splash pad. I'm not quite sure how they get with over 50 attractions and features, but it looks pretty cool. it does its job that it's meant to do. Uh, in that kind of nature of being a water. We're gonna look at their map. Never really took a look at their map before. Uh, Seems spot on from what I've seen and what I've talked to people about Storyland. So here's the Moo Lagoon. It's kind of like a beachy type farmhouse area. Pretty original theming, I would say, for that type of stuff. But not your all out, let's have a side by side water park. And from what I know about this theme park, it's only a 35-acre theme park with a bunch of land, even though it's hilly land, a bunch of land. So Herschend could come straight into this. I believe they own 60 acres. I don't remember the exact figure that I had found on this theme park, and almost double it in size if they want to throw that much money. I mean, $11 million, got a lot done at Kentuckykingdom. I'm not saying that it's going to get a lot done here because the land grading and all that incline that you have to build on, because it's a very hilly terrain there at Storyland. But you can definitely work with what they have and add 3 or 4 flat rides, and that's gonna be significant for this park. Another park that Herschend will be taking over that I know needs a lot of work done is Kennywood. Has apparently stayed, just the upkeep stayed normal, but it hasn't really received anything new. That's kind of, Palace seemed like they're stale. After about 2018 to 2022, depending on the park, Palace Entertainment went stale with these parks. We got people coming to them, and we're going to just keep the maintenance budget going to maintain everything. That's about it. And from what I've read on some people's side, they felt like Palace did not do a good job at upkeep with these parks. Some people said they did average. They kept it the same that it was before. But us being in the entertainment side of things, you cannot stay the same as before. Another park that I want to look at that Herschend owns is Wildadventures, like I had said earlier. Wildadventures is also going to be another reference of what I think is going to happen with certain Palace Entertainment parks that's going to happen. Now, Wildadventures seems like it doesn't get upgrades every year. It's in a rural area, so they catch a lot of that pass through to go to Disney and Universal Studios, the Orlando area, because it's in Valdosta, Georgia. Now, there is a lot of locals. There's a college there, but it's really a pass-through theme park. You pass through, you stop there on your way to Disney or Universal, or if you're going the other direction, living in Orlando and you're going to like Atlanta, for say, to Six Flags over Georgia, or the aquarium up there just to see new places, Wildadventures is your stop-in theme park. Your 1 or 2 day stop trip, and then go to your destination. So Wildadventures in 2023 received a big refresh, somewhat of a big refresh. The article that I had found about it when doing my research was a multi-million-dollar expansion. It was about 3.5 acres worth of expansion, new ride, a new little water area inside the park, and campground is what it sounds like. So that was it in 2023. Sounds like they skipped 2024 and went into a big build for 2025, and that is a big thing for them called Water's Edge. It features 3 new rides, some new animal habitats, dining options, and live entertainment. So Water's Edge also reimagined some rides, also some big money expansions in the last couple years for Wildadventures, multi-million-dollar. Probably like talking about not like on the upper like close to 10 million. We're probably talking about 2 or 3 million with that. And on the 2023 the 2023 updates to the park and additions. It sounds like the 2025 expansion, much bigger expansion, and that's where we get to the Palace Entertainment parks. I feel like they're going to go the Wild Adventure way with all those parks. Now, it's not going to be a humongous budget going into each park, but Palace Entertainment was not doing anything, it didn't seem like. So if Herschend comes and pops in and gives these theme parks that they just acquired their normal maintenance budget, which Herschend takes pride in the look of their parks. So their normal maintenance budget is probably going to be up a pretty decent amount. But just from the Herschend way. The only park that I would say Herschend needs to do better at upkeep is Wildadventures. They have some walkway issues going on in Wildadventures and some other small stuff going on in Wildadventures. But other than Wildadventures, Kentuckykingdom, Silverdollarcity, Dollywood, flawless, looks really nice. Upkeep is amazing. Wildadventures could do better, but Wildadventures has always been their, I guess you could say, play budget park to see what they could do and what they can't do on a small budget, what they can add and what they can't add on a small budget, and I think that is what's going to help them as they have become bigger now with this transaction. So we're going to look at Herschend's experiences. Herschend has a big portfolio already of their own. A lot of shows, the Dolly Parton show, the Pink Adventure Tour. You just tons of stuff already that Herschend's known for, other than their theme parks. Now they add this portfolio of Palace Entertainments to it. A lot more water parks. That's another thing that Herschend. I haven't been to one of their dedicated water parks, but the water park at Dollywood, really nice. I believe Herschend's going to be able to make a pretty good splash with the water parks and keep those upkeeps. The entertainment center, Herschend has done some really good solo stuff before, so all the entertainment top centers that they're just taking over, those will be, your normal budget entertainment centers. They'll be the ones with arcades in them. Doesn't cost that much to, add a new arcade game every year. So not too worried about that. The main focus is their water parks and theme parks. I expect Kennywood to be the first because all the history there to be touched and rethemed. New rides added. I believe Storyland is going to be a big focus. I'm not for sure about the California park. Castlepark, I don't know about. Last time I checked, it was tapped out on land, so that park's not very big in its own over here in California. But I could be wrong. Someone can correct me in the comments if I am about Castlepark. But from my findings, it's a 25-acre park and has no more land to go with it. Adventureland has land to go with it. Kennywood is tapped out, but there are small little things that Kennywood can do land-wise to open up about 2.5 to 3 acres maybe that I've seen. They have a swan paddle boat ride that, even though, it's a classic, they can get rid of that. I believe that's not a holding pond of no sort. I think that's just a temporary man-made pond that houses that ride, and that's about 1.5 acres. And 1.5 acres, from what I've seen them do in Dollywood or Silverdollarcity, they can add a tremendous amount of flat rides in that little 1.5 acres. So flat rides is going to be key in this for Palace Entertainment's former theme parks. Uh, you're going to see coasters be refurbed and redone. If the park has enough land to add a coaster, you'll see a new coaster. But the big key to all these Palace Entertainment theme parks and water parks are going to be new slides and new flat rides, new kid rides, new family friendly rides. We could possibly see some dark rides coming to these parks, but that's going to be the big thing. I know at Dollywood, apparently they have a 5-story ride coming. I'm assuming that's a dark ride. Could be one of those dark ride hybrid roller coasters. But sounded like, just from what I heard about that 5-story ride, it's a dark ride 100%. So going to be very interesting how that goes for them. We covered Kentucky Kingdom and what Kentucky Kingdom has done with Discovery Meadow, moving more to the back of the park, opening up a lot of ground from the front of the park for a lot of expansion in the coming year with that. We covered Wildadventures on everything that can possibly have. I mean, Wildadventures is not doing bad. Like, they have a ton of rides. They have a really good zoo type atmosphere also. That's the thing that really makes Wildadventures, is the rides are okay. Could be better rides. But again, they're on that flat ride thing. Wildadventure does need another roller coaster, but all the new stuff has been flat rides for the most part. Or a splash pad type deal. But this is the same thing that is going on at Wildadventures that's going to go on at all the Palace Entertainment parks that Herschend just acquired. Whenever they do that review of what's going on with those parks financially, how much foot traffic they get per year. They already have ideas about it from what they did before they bought Palace Entertainment. But now they're going to get more base numbers on their own research that's coming out to be, more fluent with what they would like, or how much the average person spending could be a little bit different from theme park operator on the way they count it, things of that nature. Seen some really crazy stuff come out with the way different companies count the amount of money that us as people spend in their parks or just store. Every company's different. But I believe we're going to see the Wildadventure treatment to all those parks, and that's going to be $2 or $3 million to this park for 1 or 2 new flat rides, probably 2. That'll probably get them 2 with some reimagined food thing, and I believe that's what's going to happen. And then we'll get a Kentucky Kingdom size with a park or 2 here or there too. So you'll have $11 to $16 million investment come out of nowhere for one of those parks, and then it'll cut back down to around $1 million or $2 million, and then some years it'd probably be just a flat ride that didn't cost but probably like $750,000 come in, and that's going to be their big new ride of the year. But the thing is Herschend knows that even if you're bringing in small flat rides, you can pump it full of, we have a new ride, we're not being stale, and look at the park's upkeep, we're doing tremendous things here. Palace went from bringing in new rides to kind of shifting their budget, I would say, where it was just average upkeep on all those parks. So again, I know that America was not that company's main focus, Europe was, and that's okay. They have bigger fish to fry on their parks across in Europe, and it Herschend's now going to be in control of those parks, and I believe this will be a groundbreaker for Herschend. Uh, because if we want to see groundbreaking theme parks, Herschend is a prime example. Look at Silverdollarcity. Big investment going on there, big add-ons going on there. I've heard they have a new coaster on the way in Silverdollarcity. I've heard there's some more flat rides on the way. Uh, just Silverdollarcity is already amazing. It's getting even bigger. Like I said about the 5-story expansion over in Dollywood for a dark ride. That's only Dollywood's only 50% owned by Herschend Entertainment, but that with Dolly Parton and Dollywood over there is an amazing theme park in itself too. And they just keep making that park bigger and bigger and bigger. I mean, we just scroll through the rides and we kind of see a big similarity really of Silverdollarcity and Dollywood, except different themed, different. Of course, this is going to be Dolly Parton themed, but food similarities and different themed rides. But Herschend knows that they have this footway and this footprint that they want to follow, and they've been following it. Same thing's going on right now at Kentucky Kingdom. Same thing's been going on slowly and surely at Wildadventures, and now all the other theme parks that they just gain control of from Palace Entertainment. And there's the footprint that they're gaining from Palace Entertainment. The only part that I don't think they're going to get in this transaction is Raging Waters in Australia. I think that's staying with the parent company of Palace Entertainment. And we're going to look at the amusement parks one more time that they're going to be acquiring. Adventureland, Castlepark, Dutch Wonderland, Ideal Wild, and the Soak Zone, Kennywood, Lake and Pounce, and Storyland. I'm excited to go to Kennywood for the first time. We've been trying to do that for a little bit. Storyland is also on our next trip that we make up to Boston. So it's going to be fun times. And now that Herschend owns these parks, I'm excited to see the future of these parks. I know that Herschend's going to do great with these. A lot of people's worried that Herschend's getting too big too quick. I don't think that's the case. I think really with the big things that they're doing over at Kentucky Kingdom, Silverdollarcity, Dollywood, and the small things that they're doing at Wildadventures. You know, Wildadventures being in the middle of nowhere has prepared them to take over many more parks because they know exactly, hey, we can do X amount of flat rides, we can do a new restaurant theme with this short dollar of money and come out with a bigger traffic flow. Or we can add an acre and a half to 3 acres to the park and get this many flat rides to go in that little area with this food venue that we want to build and it work out. I'm not worried about Herschend. Herschend seems like they have really good financial goals going on with the managing way that they do these parks. Like I said, the only thing that's wrong with Wildadventures that Herschend could do better with is the fact that Herschend needs to fix the walkway in certain areas of Wildadventures. And of course, there's a ride here or there that, Herschend needs to do a better job at upkeeping at Wildadventures. But other than that, they're doing great with a smaller budget of Wildadventures. And that's what's going to be key to some of these Palace Entertainment parks is the way that they run Kentucky Kingdom and Wildadventures. Because they can mix both portfolios together. And then whenever they get done doing all these updates, small couple $1 million at a time updates to all these parks that you see on the screen, that then they can take off and redeem a big old spot of Kennywood completely, or add 20 acres to Storyland, redo half of Lake Compels worth of new rides. I mean, the sky's the limit with this, and Herschend can do it. Herschend has proved they can do it time and time again with their current portfolio, and I believe this big addition to the portfolio is going to be great for them. Thank you guys for tuning in for this episode. I hope to see you in the next one.